And Rob and I, we criticize players for a lot of their, votes. And, when they in the NBA, they pick, the All-Stars, and half of them don't pick LeBron and half of them don't pick Durant, and that type of foolishness. But I do like, and I think, because these lists, I don't know how you feel, they're not totally off the wall. So I do think that players take them fairly seriously. And I think they really try to, make good picks. And so the NFL.com, of course, top 100 players as chosen by current NFL players. And we're waiting for the top 10 to be unveiled. We know the players, right? We just don't know the order. Here's the order in alpha. The top 10 players in NFL heading into this season. This is in alphabetical order. Now, on Saturday, next weekend, they will be named in the order that they are. But you got Devontae Adams, you got Josh Allen, Tom Brady, Aaron Donald, Derrick Henry, DeAndre Hopkins, Travis Kelce, Pat Mahomes, Aaron Rodgers, and TJ Watt. I mean, look, you can quibble over a few of those if you want, but honestly, it's hard to argue against that top 10. I mean, again, there might be a guy here or there you want to put in there, but do you have a huge problem with that?
I have a ginormous problem with that.
What?
And here's the thing.
I know ginormous is you, but you got a ginormous problem with this list?
I do. Now, this is supposed to be the top 100 players, not quarterbacks, not offensive players, top 100 players, period, okay?
Right.
There is one name that stands out above the rest that I got to put a big asterisk next to it, and that is one Tom Brady.
Ah!
Not only is he not a top 10 player in the NFL right now, okay, I could make an argument that he's barely even a top 10 quarterback now.
Rob G, stop it. I mean, I get it that you want to make a big splash, that you only get to do this every once in a while. Are you serious?
I'm dead serious.
Tom Brady, barely a top 10 quarterback? Is that what you're saying?
He's in the back half of the top 10. He's definitely not a top 10 overall player.
The last time you were in this chair, you got heat for 2 weeks because you said that Kawhi Leonard was the most dispensable superstar in the NBA.
And I was proven correct. I was proven correct.
Really?
Yes.
Really?
Yes.
Because they lost in 6 to Phoenix? That proved it?
Because apparently Kawhi Leonard has still shown that he cannot lead a team to the promised land. That they had to blow up. They had to blow up a strong foundation with Pat Bev, Lou Will, and Montrezl Harrell.
Stop it.
Because he couldn't handle another personality pushing back on his lack of leadership.
Will you stop it? That team needed to be. We're not going to go there. We'll save that for the next time you step into the arena. But okay, go ahead. I'm gonna give you the floor. I think it's ridiculous, and I'm about to just destroy you. But I'm going to give you the floor and let you make your argument.
Thank you. Well, first off, you said that you like the way this list is voted on by the players. You think it's a little bit more legitimate that way. I disagree. I think that is very fickle the way these guys vote. And there's two examples that stand out right off the top if you look at the rest of that list, 100 through, 11. Lamar Jackson was number 1 the season before. He falls 23 spots. I know he didn't have a great season last year, but you cannot tell me that he's a much different player in 2020 as he was in 2019. I didn't see him as a much different player.
Right. I mean, he took a step back. He didn't rush for quite as many yards. He obviously didn't throw for as many touchdowns, threw more picks. He just wasn't as good as he was the year before. But I'm with you in that I'm surprised because Lamar has major league respect in the league, right?
Yes, more so amongst players than in the media.
Yes,
for sure.
And I'm surprised that guys dropped him like that. But what that tells you is that at least from the players' perspective, they feel like little by little they're figuring him out, or they feel like he's just going to, he's not quite. Right, it only takes that 4.3 becoming a 4.440.
Yes.
for him to start getting hit.
It takes
right?
that 4-3 to being a 4-3-7 to being a big issue.
I mean, really. And so I think that's kind of what players are telling you. But, okay.
So that's one.
Yeah.
The other one that stands out is Russell Wilson. Now, Russell Wilson was number 2, and he dropped 10 spots. Now, I don't know if he had a better season. I mean, that's for someone else to decide. But I can definitely tell you that it wasn't a worse season than he had the year before. And somehow he falls 10 slots. So it tells me that these guys who are voting on these lists, they don't have the same criteria. These guys are voting with something other than an objectivity that you'd expect. Okay?
No, but hold on. He should have never been number 2. I think 12 is about where he should be, maybe a tad higher.
Okay.
But I think 2, I mean, obviously Tom Brady wasn't 2.
No.
Last year, Aaron Rodgers wasn't 2.
Pat
and
Mahomes wasn't number 2 either. Mahomes has never been number 1.
Right. You had Lamar, which is crazy.
Right.
But so
that leads me to Tom Brady, okay? Right. Tom Brady won the Super Bowl. He is the greatest quarterback ever. I'm not going to say that he's not. I can't make a good case to say that he's not. I'm not going to be Rob Parker and try to force you to think that he's not, because he is. But who he is now is not a top 10 player in the NFL. Who he is now, much like LeBron James, is a very, very, very good player, but he's not quite that elite quarterback that he had been in the past. I'm not even going to give you an order because you're quibbling about it, but here are the guys that I have right now as quarterbacks ahead of Tom Brady. Josh Allen, Deshaun Watson, Pat Mahomes, Aaron Rodgers, Russell Wilson, Dak Prescott, Lamar Jackson. That if I had to pick a quarterback right now, Tom Brady or X, these are guys I'm definitely taking above Tom Brady.
So what was that? He's 7th?
So that makes him, I believe that makes him 8th. That makes him 8th. You can even argue, I personally wouldn't make this case, but you could argue that you would take Ryan Tannehill above Tom Brady. And here's why. Look, Tom Brady, for all of his Super Bowls, for all of his commercials, for all of his Uggs and his avocado ice cream, he was 9th in both
and his rings. Don't forget that.
I said that first. He was 9th in both QBR and QB rating last season, which is not bad. Like, he's still very good. But Ryan Tannehill was number 3 in both. So by that measure, he was a better quarterback. The difference is that Tom Brady rode a hot defense to the Super Bowl and was able to come home with the Lombardi Trophy. I'm not going to take that away from him, but that doesn't change the fact that he had other things around him that led to that success, and that he's not quite a top 10 overall player in the NFL, much less a top 4 quarterback, which is what they're listing him right now at worst.
Stop it! Enough! Rob G, I'm disappointed in you. I am disappointed in you. I mean, didn't you play football in high school?
I did. My team was terrible.
Yeah, but you played football. And I know high school, I don't want to compare it to the pros, obviously, or even big-time college. But at least you've been on the gridiron. At least you've tussled in the grass. At least you've, been through two-a-days and hit, other players and all of that. You should know better. You know it, and you go to the analytics? That's what you go to? Ryan Tannehill wouldn't say he's the 3rd best quarterback in the NFL.
I didn't say he was. I said you could make an argument.
No, you said you can make... No, Ryan Tannehill wouldn't make that argument. Mrs. Tannehill
I bet you his wife would. His wife would.
Grandma Tannehill would not make that argument.
Derrick Henry would. That's his guy.
The fact that you let that even come out of your mouth is just despicable. I mean, are you serious? Let me give you the definitive list of the top 5 quarterbacks in the NFL. And I'm going to back it up. Number 1, Pat Mahomes. Number 2, Tom Brady.
Oh, no.
Yes.
No.
Number 3, Aaron Rodgers. Number 4, Russell Wilson. And 5, Josh Allen.
You're crazy.
And I'm going to give Lamar some love and put him at 6. But listen.
Above Deshaun Watson.
All you had is the analytics, the QB, otherwise known as I can't watch the game and tell you who can ball, so I just go through these stats. And that's why I'm disappointed, because you played the game. All right? I don't care if it was CYO, Pop Warner, YMCA, whatever. You played the game. All right? Now, Tom Brady, third in the NFL last year in passing yards per game. All right? 290 a game. He was third in yardage, obviously, yards per game as well. He was tied for second in touchdowns, only behind Aaron Rodgers. He had 40. That's the second most he's ever thrown in his career. I mean, Rob G, don't give me this QBR passer rating BS.
So you bring up stats like yards per game, which is the most fickle stat in all of football.
No, it ain't fickle when you win.
It is.
It's not fickle when you win. It's fickle when you lose.
You know what,
And here's why I put him ahead of Aaron Rodgers. Because when push comes to shove, when I need a W in the postseason, whether it's the cold, frigid, snow-laden atmosphere of Lambeau or whether it's the sunshine of Tampa, I'm going with Tom Brady, and you know this. You know this. I love Aaron Rodgers. He is awesome. But in the postseason, he's not the same quarterback. And we know that from his numbers and his wins and losses. So I got to put Brady ahead of it. Rob G.
Aaron Rodgers outperformed Tom Brady in that NFC Championship game.
No, he didn't. He wasn't good in the first half. All right, he comes on
and
late
what
when
was
the game's
Tom Brady in the second
over.
half?
That's all right.
In winning time.
What was he in the first half?
3 interceptions, 78 passing yards.
In the NFL, winning time is all 60 minutes. Because he built up a lead.
Okay.
He built up a lead. And Aaron did the same thing the year before against San Francisco. So you look at the box score, you're like, Aaron balled. But then you watch the game and you're like, nah, he really didn't. All right, the fugazi, to use Rob Parker's line. All right, Tom Brady, you know, Rob G, quarterbacking is about stepping into that huddle, looking your offensive linemen, your running backs, your receivers in the eye and getting them to believe. Football is about stepping into that locker room, and everybody in that locker room respects you, defers to you, listens to you, believes that you can win because of you. He took a 7-9 football team and took them to the Super Bowl.
Chris,
he changed the
Jameis
culture.
Winston had 30 interceptions the year before. All you had to do was be Kirk Cousins, and that team was going to be good the next season. Don't turn the ball over, and that team wins 10, 11, 12 games.
No, you can say all that, but it ain't true. We can talk, and we can talk about, throw Mahomes in there. Mahomes in a different class, but throw Rodgers in there, throw Josh Allen in Tampa, throw this and that guy in Tampa, and they would have done the same thing.
Chris,
no,
how many quarterbacks win a playoff game
they don't have
throwing
the
3 second-half interceptions?
It doesn't matter.
Give me another one.
You play to win the game. And in the first half, Brady helped them build that big lead. And the bottom line is, as soon as he put his signature on the Tampa Bay contract, everybody on that team was like, yo, we can win the Super Bowl. Joe Montana is not in the GOAT conversation because he had the golden arm necessarily, because he was mobile. He's in there because he had the intangibles, the accuracy, the leadership, all of that. And that's the same thing with Brady. You are out of your mind